Don't play with guns. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about the importance of gun safety for the average citizen. My name is Robert Davis, and during my 4 years in the military, I was trained in the proper use of firearms, ranging from the 9mm Beretta, the M16 rifle, shotguns, all the way up to the 50 caliber machine gun. I'm also licensed by the Texas Department of Public Safety to carry a firearm as a commissioned security officer. In the months following the election of President Obama in 2008, CNNJustice.com reported that gun sales doubled and in some places tripled in anticipation of harsher gun laws. After President Obama's re-election last week, CNNMoney.com is once again reporting gun sales are on the rise. Whether you're for or against guns, the fact is that gun sales and ownership is on the rise. Living in one of the most firearm-friendly states in the area, there's a high chance that you will encounter a firearm in a casual situation. However, most people are never taught basic firearm safety. With the increase of firearm sales and gun ownership and the lack of safety knowledge in the average citizen, there's a higher risk of inadvertently harming yourself or someone else due to a lack of gun safety knowledge. Today I'm going to talk to you about the ways that people are unsafe with firearms, dangers from mishandling firearms, and what you can do to be safer around firearms and increase your own personal knowledge. The ways people are unsafe with firearms. One of the most common reasons people own a firearm is for home defense. Guns kept for home defense are often kept somewhere readily available, loaded, often in nightstands or dressers or bedside tables. The problem arises when there aren't safety measures in place to keep people from accessing these guns unsupervised. Under the Texas Penal Code, section 46.13, subsection B, a person commits an offense if a child gains access to a readily dischargeable firearm and the person with criminal negligence failed to secure the firearm or left the firearm in a place to which the person knew or should have known the child would gain access. From action flicks to shoot-'em-up type video games, firearms appeal to the machismo aspect of our culture. Firearms are portrayed as cool, tough, and those who have them tend to be portrayed as cooler and tougher than those who don't. Because of this, many people see a firearm and immediately pick it up and play with it, or feel the need to carry it just to make themselves feel tougher or look tougher. Some examples of this, on October 29th, 2009, the New York Times reported that Giants receiver Plexico Burress shot himself in the leg with a firearm that slipped down from the waistband of his pants. Burress received a sentence of 2 years in jail, 2 years probation, as well as punishment handed down from the NFL because he was neither licensed to carry the firearm nor should he have been carrying it inside of a nightclub. People also love to show their guns off to their friends, brandishing them, waving them in the air in an attempt to look cool. For many people, they want to pull the trigger to hear the iconic click of the hammer. This often results in a negligent discharge and a bullet hole being put in something you don't want a hole in. The video you saw at the beginning of my speech often happens when someone with a lack of firearm safety and knowledge plays around with a firearm. So what are the dangers of mishandling firearms? What's the worst that could happen? Colonel Jeff Cooper, a firearms pioneer, is quoted as saying, "The rifle itself has no moral statute, since it has no will of its own." Firearms are neither good nor bad. They're simply tools, like a garden rake. However, unlike your garden rake, which at worst will leave a nasty knot on your head if you step on it, the misuse of a firearm has the potential for terrible consequences. Will you pull up the second video? The second video is slightly graphic. There's not a lot of gore, but it does involve a gunshot. That is a real video. That's real footage. I apologize if that was a little disturbing to you, but I felt that it was necessary to emphasize the dangers of allowing children and anybody who does not know how to handle a gun to play with one. In July, the news website dailymail.co.uk reported the story of a 3-year-old boy who accidentally shot and killed his father finding a loaded handgun. That's not the same incident you saw here, but it still happens quite frequently. This happened because it was left somewhere a small child could reach it. Listosor.com reported that in 2009, there were 642 accidental shootings which resulted in deaths. Firearms are the second leading cause of non-natural deaths for kids. Approximately 2/3 of those accidental firearm deaths occur in the home, with 45% of those being the kid shooting and killing himself. People can die when someone is careless with a firearm, and I beg you please, don't let someone you care about become part of that awful statistic. So now I've shown you how bad it can be. What can you do to ensure that you and those you care about are aware of proper firearm safety and aren't at risk from negligent discharge? What can you do starting right now, from the moment you leave this class? When handling a firearm, there are 4 basic rules you should always follow. These rules apply whether you're at the range practicing or looking at a friend's firearm collection. The first, always treat a weapon as if it's loaded. When you pick up a firearm, you don't know if the weapon has a bullet in the chamber, so to eliminate this uncertainty, treat every weapon as if it were loaded, at all times, no matter what. Believe that if you pull that trigger, it will go boom. Second, never put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Almost everyone's natural inclination when picking up a firearm is to put their finger on the trigger. It seems natural. It's what people often do in movies when they're walking around with their gun drawn. But this is wrong and dangerous. When you pick up a firearm, keep your finger off the trigger. You can't shoot somebody if you can't pull the trigger. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. The third step, never point the gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. If you point the gun at somebody and accidentally shoot them, you have destroyed their life. They are dead and there is no coming back from that. Never point the gun at anything you are not willing to destroy. And the fourth rule is know what you are pointing your gun at and what's beyond. Bullets travel faster than the speed of sound and therefore have a lot of kinetic force behind them. If you shoot something, there is no guarantee it's going to stop once it hits what you've shot. If you shoot at a target and the bullet keeps going and ends up hitting somebody, you are held liable for that in a court of law. And you're held liable for that in a court of law. So know your target and its surroundings. When you're keeping guns at home, keep firearms locked up if there is a chance someone else could misuse them. Remember that you are held liable if someone gets your firearm because it wasn't properly secured. All gun stores sell safes, locks, and vaults for storing your guns. If you own a firearm, you need to have a secure place to store it. Another thing to do is educate yourself. The National Rifle Association offers a variety of courses for youth, adult, and those who are completely new to firearms. Their website is nra.org, and you can find a plethora of knowledge for training courses. Most gun ranges also offer courses for a small fee, sometimes even free, depending on what the course is. You can contact your local gun range to find out. You can also contact your local police department. Many police departments have safety programs, and if you ask, are willing to offer tips on keeping safe firearms and how to secure them and make your firearms child-friendly. Last, teach children that firearms are not toys. Unless being closely supervised, children have no use interacting with firearms. Teach children these 4 steps. Stop. Don't touch. Leave the area. Tell an adult. In conclusion, today I've told you about the way firearms are mishandled and the dangers posed by them when they are, and some basic safety advice for dealing with firearms. Firearm sales are on the rise, and the likelihood of encountering one is more and more every day. Though firearms are just tools, the potential for serious harm is very high, and they have to be handled safely and with caution. If you follow the rules I've given you, you will significantly decrease the danger posed by mishandling firearms. Thank you very much.